Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace, and I just wrapped up a video because I thought it was getting really long. Turns out it wasn't, not really long, but the topic I kept messing up. This is nothing unusual, so yeah. But it was about there being finally Reaction Channel 1 I've seen so far. Well, there's more than one, and then somebody who may have continued doing them. But I don't know his channel. I don't know which channel he used. I don't know him. But it's about people who are doing these food deliveries and food deliveries, grocery deliveries, whatever. And at first, these were recommended to me, both of them. But now I have been mentioning this since I don't know when. This year, last year, it could have been even before, because I personally have been doing my own version of reaction channels. I don't mention their name. I don't mention their channel name. Don't mention any of that kind of stuff. I just talk about the behaviors and how it made me feel. Like a vent video, pressure release valve. That's what I use my channels for. And I just talk about the behaviors, basically, like I just said. But I've been wanting to see if there would be reaction channels. Not those bad types, that used to be called gossip or drama or whatever name. Been online on YouTube for 11 years next month. 11 of them. Next month on my original channel. I've seen plenty of things over all these years. And not the ones that are just awful people. But just people who are giving real reactions to what they're seeing, and their audience leaving comments saying how they see them, and that it's not biased. It's not just one side. It's not just people who are glorifying the person. There's people who, we are very divided here in the United States. I'm an independent myself, but people who have opposing views on what that person is doing, how that person is doing it. And they can voice it or type it out and be heard. We're not talking like really horrible things that some people call them trolls do. No, just people have opposing views and to be heard. A lot of people, if they have somebody who's against them on their channel, leaving them a comment on their own channels, they'll dirty delete them. Not necessarily the video, they'll dirty delete what people call dirty deleting, the comment, so other people don't see it. I mean, you can look at a channel where this person saying, the video of somebody saying some very controversial things. You look at all the comments, and all the comments are glorifying the person who's making the video, saying, oh, you're so great and wonderful, and you do so well, and you do this, and I totally agree with you, blah, 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 and there's no negative? Come on, seriously? What world do y'all live in? Or what state? But I'm talking about videos that are made here in the United States. Seriously. 11 years. So, no. I got it down. I know what's going on, so. And so yeah, when this person doing these reaction channels, I have seen already, and the ones that are recommended to me, I have seen already that people are doing that. The opposing side is finally getting to be heard. I like that. I'm all about freedom of speech for everyone, not just a select few, but everyone. Now, we all know that your consequences to what you say and what you do, your own actions, nobody made that. I didn't make that up. So, you just can't. I mean, how many of us grew up hearing as children? I'm 62 years old. I heard it. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater. And then we heard these, you can't say everything just because you think it. So we all know that. We weren't born yesterday. I certainly wasn't, so yeah. But you see what I'm saying, I mean, just good debate. Why shouldn't there be opposing? And then, the people don't need to, if you really like that person, or you saying that person is weak, if you feel like you have to take up for them, for the person. A debate is about the ideas. You lose a debate if you attack the person, the opposing person, like their looks or whatever. That's losing the debate. Seriously, I learned that when I was a teenager in the debate team. Did you know back then, females, girls like me, teenagers, we couldn't debate because we were females? Seriously. In my lifetime, I'm not joking, we could go to all the debate team. We could join the debate team. We did. We could go to all their functions and their meetings, and then go on vacation practically with the school. But we could not debate because we were female. And I asked he was a coach, by the way. The one that was the whatever. And I said, why? And he did not have. He said, "That's just what it is. That's not a way to do it. This is the lead of the debate team." Anyway, this is why my videos go. Yeah, I go off on a tangent there, but anyway. But I like to see that where it's fair. People on this side, they feel this way about it. They don't like what this person is doing and how this person is doing it. They think that it's, it's this, that, or the other, and that's not helping, and that's not this. The other side is saying, oh, you're such a wonderful person. You're doing everything right. You see? So, anyway. But I would like to see more than one channel like that. Now, there are some of them I've seen. The first time I ever saw one, it was horrible. But see, I didn't know that they were also the ones that are called gossip, and they were called drama. They were called all that back then, many years ago, seems like. And but the first what I heard was a reaction channel. I don't think that's what they called it. He called it something else, and he was just ugh. That's my opinion. Ugh. But anyway, but I was glad to see this because, especially the first one, I was thinking, this guy's just kissing up. But then after that, was he dirty deleting the negative comments? But I got recommended another one today, and actually more than one today. But one of them, the first one I saw that only recommended part of it, there were people who were on both sides. So comments galore on that person. So that's fair. Anyway. Okay, now this is me on the side of the one who, I don't leave comments. My experience with leaving comments is like I did leave one on that woman's on her channel. I left one on the person I do not really at all. Back then I was new, just started watching, and had something of somewhat similar, thing in my life. And I left a comment, and she never responded. And that usually is a clue to me because of my past, of what I've seen these past 11 years, is that the people who don't answer comments, just because they have big channels, doesn't mean that they can't click on something, click on that little whatever it's called. But nope. And I've realized, because of experiences, those are usually the ones who are, they're just not worth watching. And it wasn't long after that, it was like right away I started saying, whoa, her videos, wow, she's snarky, snarly. I should have gone back and deleted my own snarky, snarly. No, that's not something I don't glorify. I don't glorify anybody. That's not my way. But I definitely don't want to be associated with that. You know, somebody who's snarky, snarly in a way. I know somebody said, well, aren't you in the way you're saying this? No, I mean, I'm talking, how do I put it? Like, you know, somebody, I've said so many times already, really. Somebody who's lying to their audience and being, you know, having a smirk on their face and lying to their audience and showing that they think their audience is stupid. And they're being snarky, snarly, and all this stuff during all this, and have that smirk, you know, and that fake voice, the fake, like, I'm superior to all of you, and I don't need to associate with any of you because you're not up to my caliber, or whatever they call it. That kind of person, you know, no thank you, because she's definitely not. And even, no, I don't believe in anybody being above anybody else. We're all human, and we all have our strengths and weaknesses, period. Nobody's more special than the other person, really. And all it depends on what is, you know, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder kind of thing. So, so anyway, what else was I going to say? But my experience with those is usually they'll steal your ideas. Okay, at some point they'll start stealing your ideas. And that was my experience. Yeah. So they're not going to comment because, they might get busted. Yeah. The person might say, hey, look at this. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap this up. I had some few things I wanted to add to it. But I've been sitting out here almost an hour, I think. Maybe not that long, maybe 30 minutes or so. And it's a hot, hot day here in Texas. It's July 23rd, 8:08 p.m. on 2025. It says, my SUV says it's 93 degrees, but I think the heat index is 100. When I came out here, I think it was the heat index, the feels like, the real feel, whatever they call it, with whatever you're using. Was 106 or 7 today. Some point right before I came out. I waited. I kept waiting and waiting and waiting for it to go down some. But I am Texan, and I'm kind of used to it. This summer for us, and even the spring, the end of the spring and beginning of summer, really, it's quite nice. So for us, we usually have a lot more days that it's 100 and something feels like, and even 100. So tomorrow I think it's going to reach 100. We usually have quite a bit. This year it doesn't look like we will, but you never know, it could have been pushed back a little bit. So anyway, what else was I going to say? I'm going to think about it. If not, I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.